Right, Tom, you probably feel like you've never done so many interviews at the end of a race weekend
No, I haven't.
in your life.
I really haven't.
You know, you're certainly not going to complain. What a way to wrap up a first BTCC title.
Just bonkers. Absolutely bonkers. Like, I could never have, I've dreamt about this moment all my life. I could never have envisaged feeling quite as emotional as I did and do. Or the day goes, the day has gone. To have done it with a qualify on pole, race 1, fastest lap, race 2 win, fastest lap, and then the last race just have a bit of a battle. It was just remarkable, and I've loved it absolutely every second of it. It's been a stressful weekend. It's been a massively stressful weekend. It's been a stressful season, but it's just been fantastic. Honestly, I've loved every single second of it.
I mean, apart from coming through and taking a win in that last race as well, was that a weekend that was pretty much as perfect as it could have been for you in the circumstances?
It really was, yeah. I think I don't think we could have asked for anything more. I really can't think we could have asked for anything more. We've had an amazing car this weekend, and that's testament to the work that's gone on behind the scenes. And it's amazing because there's so many names on this trophy that I look back at and remember them happening. I've watched touring car, the BTCC. I've watched my entire life. As much as it's my job, my passion, my life. I'm a fan. I'm a massive fan, and to look back at some of these names and think, I remember watching that when I was 10 years old, and I remember watching that, and I remember watching that. And the one that comes out to me was 1999 with Laura Yellow, and that was the one. That was the year that I used to watch. I used to watch that season review before I used to go to school every day. Somebody say that's sad.
It's a bit of a geek.
But whilst other kids were playing on Nintendos and PlayStations and riding their bikes, I was watching the BTCC season review every single day of different races. So to have jumped that dream when I was 5 years old, wow, wouldn't that be an amazing thing to be able to do? To however many years later, it happened. It is amazing.
I mean, you've been in contention now since 2017 as a contender coming into the final round. But what does it mean to you to go from being kind of a nearly man to being a champion?
Oh, it's amazing. It really, really is amazing because. Yeah, obviously I've had a good few attempts at this championship now. I've been in the series since 14. I've been in contention with it since 17. Every single year, that you do doubt it. You do start to think, is it going to happen? When you start to see, the year that people have, and you think, we're never going to be able to do that. So you do doubt it. So, this year has been tough because we've not had any of the success penalties. We've not had success penalties. We've not had huge amounts. The hybrid performance has been fairly low in terms of the penalty that it gives you each weekend. So it's been such a tough season that you've had to be on it. Every session, every lap of every session of free practice 1, 2, qualifying, race 1, race 2, race 3. You had to be on it because the pace has been ridiculously fast. Like, this has been the toughest year's racing I've ever had. Because you never ever had a second to relax. You never had a second just to breathe. Everything was a how can we find those last 10, that last 2 10, the 3 10s, the 4 10s? How can we find them? And although it's going to be my name on that trophy, which is amazing, it deserves every single person here. Every single person here has just worked such amazingness that. It's all of us. We've done it. We've won the bloody thing finally, and I've got so many people to thank. I've got so many people to be grateful for that I would be stood here for months if I were to list every single person. And honestly, my dream has come true today. I've managed to live my 5 years.
And when you've had a few drinks and you've nursed the hangover and you start to look back at this season, do you look back at that half an hour of qualifying yesterday as perhaps being the key moment and the moment that made you think, this is ours to win now?
It really was. So yesterday I've never had this before in my entire life, and I've heard sportsmen speak of this before, and women, men and women, that have spoken about this before, about the sort of the being completely at one and being doing everything in slow motion. And I was driving around in qualifying, and it was in slow motion. I had a sort of an out of body experience. It was such a bizarre experience that I've never had before in my life. Hopefully I have again. But it was like an out of body experience. I felt like I was watching myself. I was watching myself drive. I was watching go to each apex and land off that curve and go to that curve, and I was self-coaching as I was going around. I was thinking about all the stuff that we were doing in the truck before we were going out, going, we want to find a bit of time there, off the brake early, on the power early there, all these bits and pieces. And I was driving around in qualifying in slow motion, able to talk myself round. It was honestly, it was the most bizarre experience of my entire life, and real incredible moment actually to feel that. And you're absolutely right. I think that was the bit that gave me the fire. That was the bit that went, we got this. We can have this. We can win it.